first start, we wanted the trip till we ride. How strange, how strange, how strange, how
We got one more song.
Roast chicken. I can do this in my sleep. So I'm going to just check the chicken. So delicious. Stuff it in the middle.
You going to Bella, yeah! Come on, Bella, okay?
About as easy as it gets. It's gorgeous little chicken.
I'll be having fun yet.
It's just so juicy and so roasting me.
Listen.
Time to carve it.
Oh, sorry. That's enough of that. All righty. Good evening.
Hey.
Today is Wednesday, January 23rd, 2019. I'm Dominion.
Hey. 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 I'm epic.
And
We just couldn't even go on with it. We couldn't even, like,
welcome to episode 43 of the BGKH Show with
Yes.
Dominion and Epic exclusively on Vox Power 373. And don't forget, I put the number in my Facebook today. Call us 240-719-2560. One more time. 240-719-2560.
call.
Bam. Call in.
Call.
Now you say something foolish if you want, because we can cut it.
Yeah,
we
you
can
would
cut it.
listen. Avita
Right. So, BGKH, what's that about?
So it's about the blacks.
The blacks?
Yeah, the blacks.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's also about the gays. Round in a circle, honey. The kinky.
Kinky.
You can put that wherever you want to put that.
So that's what you do. You know, you slide it in, then you just,
You flex. And
Right.
then you wrap down, you feel around the spine a little bit.
right. Then you just,
Then you just keep going. But let's come back.
yes.
Because all of that makes us human.
Well, all right. So,
Happy New Year!
I know. Happy New Year. And listen, this is the last time, because, you know, people are like, Happy New Year. I'm like, that was like 3 weeks ago.
Right. This is
We
our
are about
first
to be in
time.
February now.
Yeah, this is our first time back here. We're telling you Happy New Year. Now, goddamn it, we meant it. Happy motherfucking New Year, bitches.
Yes.
And we mean
Yes.
all of that. Let all that 2018 shit go. You're in 2019. There's new shit that's already started and already happening and already going to be finished.
Right.
And that's where we are. We're in 2019.
Right. So we'll get to ML in a minute.
So, yes.
But how was your hiatus?
My hiatus was great. I had paid a lot of attention to myself.
Yes.
I paid a lot of attention to getting my mom situated.
Yes.
So try to get that
How was she
situated.
doing?
She's doing fine. I actually saw her yesterday. Yesterday was a bad
She's
day,
still
though.
cutting up?
Well, she was all right. Yesterday was a bad day after I finally got her back. Because the issue is not going to see her. The issue is not even sitting there talking to her. The issue is not even necessarily taking her out. But the issue is always taking her back.
Yeah,
so
she don't
that's
wanna
where
go back.
she's like, I don't want to go back. So I had to laugh.
Every day she's like, "What? Why are we coming back here?"
Right. So I had to laugh.
I thought that was just a visit.
Listen, yesterday my mother had this conversation with me almost like when I was a kid. But when you're a 15, 16-year-old kid and you're about maybe 8 or 9 inches taller than her, that type of conversation where
Yeah.
she's like, well, fuck you up. That type of conversation. So I took my mother back to the place and I was getting ready to leave. And she was like, okay, well, so we're back here. If I know we come back here, okay, let me get my coat, my purse. I'm ready to go. When you leave, I'm leaving. I was like, but no, girl. She's like, oh, no, I'm ready to go. I was like, no, girl, we're here. So I had to have the young lady, the CMT, to sit down and talk to her and get her situated, make sure she ate. Then I had to like mad dash out the door. But before I made that mad dash out the door, Mother Shirley she looked at me across the table and mouthed to me. I said, and I'm sitting there like, I said, okay, Mom.
And
Now,
you,
this
for a hot minute, you were scared too, weren't you?
I sat there and looked at her and I was like, is this how I was supposed to feel when I was 15? Like, is this, this, like,
Yeah.
in any event, she's fine. We're getting all that shit situated, and it was good. Christmas was good. New Year's was good. Spent New Year's in company of good family and friends, chosen family and friends, and I had a good time. So hopefully everybody else did. What about you?
It was cool. So, we had the cookies and cocktails and, Christmas with some of the brothers, and then
Oh yes,
New
because you were
Year's.
very sparkling on Christmas and cookies and cocktails. You were very. You had a sheen.
Oh, I sure
going
did.
on.
Yeah,
You had a sheen.
I had my flatback sequins on.
Yes, you had your sheen going on.
It was rainbow on one side, and then when you touched me, which I encourage people to do a lot, the sequence flipped to
hot.
to shiny mirror reflection. Hey, Steven, how are you? Yeah, so that was lovely.
Bill.
So, you know, then with this whole fucking shutdown foolishness.
Listen.
So, all right, so the Friday before Christmas was extremely busy in our office. You know, normally it's a well-paid job where I don't really have a whole lot to do. But that Friday, there was like a ton of stuff to do, and they were like, well, you can leave at 1 o'clock. So I was like, well, I got to get all this shit done because I'm out of here at 12:59 and 56 seconds.
Right.
And so my company, because, you know, I'm a contractor, which means I work for a company that has a contract to provide services to the government.
Right.
So my company sent an email about what to do in case of a shutdown. And I'm ripping and running, and so I'm reading that, blah, 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 dash, shutdown, midnight, we don't have no money. That's what happens. All right. So midnight comes, we ain't got no money. So Monday was Christmas Eve, which was
the 24th.
Right. But that was a work day, but I was like,
Yeah.
well, that's the first day. And, I was already supposed to work at home, but I didn't log on to my computer. I had brought my computer home in case everything was resolved, but it wasn't. So I was like, I didn't turn that computer on for that week. And then the following week of New Year's. So the Friday after New Year's, here comes my team lead talking about, where are you? First of all, he called me from our government number because I recognize the prefix. And I was like, the fuck? And it's like, you supposed to have been here this whole time. Because I work for Air Force, which is part of the Department of Defense, and the Department of Defense was fully funded. Remember, this shutdown only affects 25% of the government, but the 25% that it affects is like Homeland Security and a bunch of other things, but not the Department of Defense. So basically, I was on vacation for 2 weeks, which it was fine on one level because I was completely fine not going to work, and so I ended up using my leave time. But it was according to my team, which I knew it wasn't. There was nobody in the office because it was between Christmas and New Year's. So I mean, I could have gone to the office and not used my leave time. So I burned through 64 hours of leave that I was going to add to the 3 weeks of leave that I had this year. Because when I when I get on that plane in October to go to Blackout, I'm going to be gone for 2 fucking weeks. Yeah. I'm going to get it in. And it's still going to happen. Let's just be clear. Yeah. All of that is still happening. I'm just going to have to, be a little bit more judicious with how I use my leave. But, we're going to make it work. So that's fine. Other than that, everything is cool. Settling in. I'm just about finished with this house, but all of my first of all, getting all of the work done for the house has cost way more than I thought it would, because little shit keeps cropping up, even though it's a new house, because it's like tract housing that they tried to throw up real quick. So even though technically everything is new, they start digging behind the walls, and they're like, this is foolishness. So, that's cost a lot, not a lot more, but more than I had planned and more than I had taken out from the fund, because I had, all of that. And then, $22,000 for the funeral and all of that. So my funds are deleted. So the idea initially was that I was going to sell this house this year. I am staying there for at least until this time next year. Unless, I got a few things. There's a few irons in the fire. Okay. If those irons produce, some flame or some steel, then, we might make it happen. But I have a perfectly fine house, with a brand new basement / dungeon. So, with a full bath downstairs. So, and a steam shower, too. I can't wait to use that. I'm about to fuck that steam shower.
Steam shower?
It's a steam shower, yes.
What?
Yes, ma'am. It's gonna be the fanciest bathroom in the house. I'm gonna run down the stairs just to use that bathroom.
Get out my bathroom!
Right. Like if Trayvon goes outside, I was like,
get your ass in my bathroom!
You got your own bedroom and your own bathroom. All of your shit belong in that bathroom and in that room. The whole rest of the house belong to me. In fact, you got one narrow path to get from your room out the house.
The door.
That's it. You do not deviate from that path. Ain't no sleeping on the sofa like you used to. None of that shit. That's why
that shit up
I
in the
bought
room.
you a bed. I bought you a TV. You know, you got all that shit. Anyway, so I'll stay there for another year. But I mean, now my livable space has increased by about 600 square feet.
Good.
With with the basements on, and then now I'll probably do that, and I'll do some other stuff in the house, like get the carpet replaced upstairs and everything.
Okay.
So, because I was not going to do any of that. I was going to pull the old trick of, well, I'll just give you a credit.
Okay, well.
Because a credit don't really mean anything.
No, it really doesn't.
But, for those that don't understand, it's like, all right, so if let's say I sold my house for $450,000.
We got 9,000 things to go through.
Sorry, we got a lot.
We got a lot to go through. So,
all right, so one of those irons in the fire. So I got a call like a week or 2 weeks before MAL from the producer of Metro Weekly Shit, I forgot to bring a copy of the magazine. It's fine. Everyone sees it. Everyone has seen it, And he's like, we want to feature Onyx on the cover, and in the interview I was like, this will be fabulous. It's going to be the MAL issue. So we went and we did a fabulous photo shoot of the Green Lantern, and I did an interview in the magazine, and I might be able,
just so that we're clear, this is our,
yes,
for any of you that did not see the cover, this is the cover.
yes, and take a look and find the magazine, or check it out online. It's metroweekly.com.
Yeah.
To read the article, the cover article, which part 2 of the article, they interviewed me for like 90 minutes on that, and that is leading to some other interesting writing opportunities.
Good.
And a few other things, and so we're trying to see what we can do with that.
Good.
And so that gets us into MAL. You may be able to tell, do we have any water? I don't mean to be shady, but I mean,
MAL has several different. Listen. MAL is one of those events that when you attend MAL, you are drained.
I'll get it when I take it.
Literally, figuratively,
Yes.
Physically,
Yes.
all types of you are drained.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about MAL from not from two different sides, but from two different viewpoints.
Yes.
Because although MAL stands for Mid-Atlantic Leather Weekend, for those of you that don't know.
Yes.
We are a part of the organization Onyx Mid-Atlantic, and so when people come into this area for Mid-Atlantic Leather Weekend, then there's always Onyx Mid-Atlantic that is doing some things. And one of those things that we do every single year is have our annual gear show, which is a charity and a fundraiser for the charity of our choice.
Might have said, give us the details and then the tea. You're
Right.
going to get both the details and the tea, dear. Don't worry about that at all.
And so with that, there's a lot of you're talking to donors, you're talking to brothers, you're talking about everybody that's going to be vendors at the MAL that particular weekend, because they come from all over, and you're getting them to donate to the show to raise funds for the charity that we have chosen.
Yes.
So that is a never-ending process. You can start as early as you want to, but it always boils down to the 2 damn days of the damn show, the day before the show and the day of the show.
Yes.
That's what it always boils down to. So picture it, I started sending emails out and letters and everything, and then it still boiled down to Friday night, I'm going through the mart. Saturday morning, I'm going through the mart. Saturday afternoon, I'm figuring out what we have based on the amount of models that I've contacted and who's there and who showed up and who can fit what to get their ass in line to get them up on the stage.
Yes.
That also leads to Dominion, who being the MC, has to then take the information that I've just now gotten to provide him with something to
Who was
read.
doing the writing?
So, we had several people doing the writing, and I asked for those people that did not have the serial killer slant with their penmanship to
Picture
write in all capital letters.
No, girl, they're like
As
a T-shirt.
they were writing in like -5 font. And I'm like, listen,
Mid done.
I can't see. And I know
And I'm
damn
sitting there
well
like,
he can't see either. Make the print larger.
and they give me so the model could be wearing like up to 5 different things. So In some cases, a couple
they
cases,
were.
we were auctioning off the boots, but
Yeah.
like one model had on a jacket, then a shirt underneath, then a jacket, a harness, a pair of leather shorts, some boots, and a jock. So he's auctioning off all of those things, and each thing is on a different piece of paper. But they just handed me a sheet of paper. So the first thing I gotta do is like, well, what order
out.
are we gonna do this shit in? Because clearly we can't do the jock first. So because the whole point is you auction the thing off. A person gets up on stage and they take it off. A jacket. Okay, take the jacket. I'm sorry. Here's the jacket. Then the shirt. Then when we get down to the shorts, and then finally to the underwear, they have the Onyx shield, and so the person is standing there with the shield in front of their junk as the person, the winning bid
Gets
removes
to take it off of it, yes.
But I'm like, well, let me organize all of this shit and get it together. Then you got people that are like, I'm like, okay, I got you at 75, I got you at 80, and then some goes, oh hey, and I was like, You do not wave your hand
You just bid $85
during an auction. And then I got this one girl, and you know how the kids try to be cute. But bitch, I got the mic.
Listen, when you have a microphone,
Right. First of all, don't fuck with me, period. And don't fuck with me with a mic. And don't fuck with me with a mic
The kids have
when
a
I'm
microphone.
wearing a crown.
yeah.
But so I had to get a couple of the girls together, and let's talk about my look.
So so let's go back to the organization of it. So
Okay.
so the that part of it is once you do all that, they bid on the stuff, they can take it off. Then the models have to go back, they have to change for the next outfit. But then also we escort those people over to the side so they can pay for the stuff. And this goes on from 2 to 6. And
I
so-
will say that from now on, backstage at the gear show is a dry county.
We're going to not say anything further.
That's all I'ma say.
Right. And we're going to leave that there. so, so that whole organization
Water and
is one
juices.
side of it. The other side of it are the Onyx MA pledges that are out front that are taking donations coming in the door.
Yes.
And so that is a whole other side. So then at the end of all that, you're coordinating all that crap together to do a count of all the money, to get all the merchandise together, to make sure everybody has sold whatever they're going to sell, and
Yes.
whatever's left over, you have to then catalog it again, take it back upstairs, and you're all done. That is a tiring friggin' experience.
Yes.
So me, he, him, listen, I was tired, and I went and put my onesie on, and I was in my onesie all weekend long, and I was fine
Yes.
with that. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. But anyway, the shenanigans you're about to talk about.
So I was like, I need to do something to gag the kids a little bit. So I'm walking with my slave down in the leather mart. And, we're just walking around.
Does he have a title?
He what?
Does he have a title?
Slave.
Okay.
That's just it.
Okay.
Yeah. He was the one in the mesh body stocking that you saw. He actually had to retire to his room at some point because, let's just say, he was not molested. Like, he wasn't like, bad touch, but, he's a bit of an introvert, and he was doing that, one, at my request, but at my request because he said, he wants to start getting out of his shell a little bit. But it got to be a little bit much, with all the people and all of the attention and you walking around. You're essentially naked with a stocking with holes cut out, and a little, it wasn't a Crown Royal bag, but essentially like a Crown Royal bag over your junk.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we're walking around the leather mart, and I was trying to find something cute.
Right, Renee. Right. Go ahead.
So I had found this cute straight jacket at Passional, but it didn't quite fit me. I'm gonna get it when we go back because we got to go back to Widener. So I walk around the corner to Northbound Leather.
First of all, they have some amazing stuff.
And they're in Toronto, and the dollar is stronger than the Canadian dollar right now. So it's 1.33 Canadian dollars to every dollar. So you get like a discount with everything you buy because no one, like in Canada, they're not going to say, oh, this is $1.33. They're going to say it's $1, which means that I mean, because the nature is to do round numbers.
Right.
So that means when you translate that to American dollars, you're getting a discount because $1 in Canada is like 76 cents here or whatever it is.
Right.
But anyway, so they had a couple of cute chainmail pieces, and I was like,
And
okay.
thank you all for your donation, by the way.
Thank you,
It was
thank you to all of the vendors
all
that
of them.
donated.
Absolutely all of them.
So they had a cute little shoulder piece, and I was like, I don't really like the shoulder piece. And I mean, it's not that I didn't like it, but that really wasn't what I was looking for. That I didn't feel like
it didn't sparkle with you.
it did sparkle with me.
Yeah.
And so she had on what was essentially a chainmail bib, but it was fabulous because
It was over the front. Yes.
it started like down at the shoulders, and then it came from the shoulders down to like a V. And this woman is only like 4'3", so on her it came over. She has big breasts too, but it came down like to her navel, so it covered all of her front. And she was like, "Well, I do have this custom piece that I'm wearing." And she was like, "You want to try it on?" I was like, "How much is this?" She was like, $800. That's 800 Canadian dollars. But still, that's 600 American dollars. And I was like, "Oh, no." And then she was like, "You should try it." And then my slave was like, "You should try it." And I was like, "Oh, no." And she put it on the front. And I was like, "Nah, it's all good."
But when she turned around,
She said, "But you can wear it as a cape." And I was like, motherfucker. Son of a bitch. And she put that shit on, and that shit hit my shoulder, right? And it still came down in the front, and gave me, like, I was like,
all the shimmies, all you heard.
shika, 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 shika. And I was like, fuck. And then, my American Express card was like, buy it, bitch, buy it.
And you sitting there like,
Buy that motherfucker.
I was
You
trying
better
not
be,
to
you
spend this
better.
money.
It was like it was like talking to you. Better buy that motherfucker. I swear to God, if you don't buy it, I'm gonna whoop your ass. Oh, you better buy that bitch. All right, here you go. So I bought that, and then it needed a connection on the front. So I wandered around, and I was like, okay. I feel like for whatever reason, the new style, at least, I feel like it's not a leather trend, but it's like, like a gay trend. So like a lot of kids had crowns on, like these crowns. And so I was like, but I need like a silver one to match, the ensemble. So I found this crown. I was like, you're supposed, wear it like this, but I'm a little,
He from PG. Him from PG. I live in PG. Listen. Him from PG.
So I found this crown, and then I found this big cock ring as like a statement piece that would, acted as the lock to hold the chainmail cape on. So, I didn't wear it at first at the gear show because, I wanted to, have a reveal. So I had the reveal, and let me tell you, that shit looked good, but it was heavy. Like, okay, so because I knew, yes, I have been losing weight, but, I'm still fat. So, I wanted to look as unfat as possible on the stage, so I did not eat a lot for breakfast. So I am standing there under these hot-ass lights in leather pants, some brand new leather boots, this T-shirt, this chainmail cape, which is holding in every extra bit of heat, and this crown, and I'm sitting there like, I need some water or a snack or something, a Snicker. So I had to have somebody run and get me a fucking Snicker before I passed the hell out. So the show went well. The other part that always gags the kids is, we tell, so this gags people for the first time when they don't know. When they say, "Oh, we have a room at the hotel." Now, if you know me well enough, you should know what that room is going to look like. So we don't have just a hotel room. We have a 1,000 square foot suite.
Yes.
That you walk into, And, when people walk in, from other chapters, listen, no shade to other chapters. No. It is a national event. Other events just don't have the kind of space to have the spot that we have. But since we got it, we do it. So bitches walk in, they're like,
listen.
And there's, elegant porn playing on.
Elegant porn, live action scenes.
There's a St. Andrew's cross.
Or the St. Andrew's
sling.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a king-size bed.
King-size bed. There's chairs and sofas.
Yes.
People, the women that were on the couch were getting it in.
Well, let me tell you, one of our brothers, Oxy, did a scene with some electro, and this I think she's his girl.
I think so.
And he just kept hitting. A technical term is the pubic mound, because he was electrified with the violet wand, and he would like touch her, and she'd be like, and the whole party just like stopped for a minute and turned and watched him work this woman like a fucking violin. And we was all just like that meme that's like, it was everything. Yeah. I feel like I need him to do like a teach or a demo with that, because it was everything.
Well, wait a minute. The one thing that we did not, that we instructed people about, specifically our pledges and some of the other younger brothers, we make what is called Onyx Punch.
The Onyx Punch. So, think of every clear liquor. Vodka, gin. I'm not giving a recipe, but that's not a secret. Yeah, it's the proportions.
I mean, but still.
This is like diners, drive-ins, and dives. It's just magic and sunshine and clear liquors.
And rainbows and unicorn
and sunshines poop. And lots of different juices.
Unicorn poop.
Now, we tell you, this juice is not to be fucked with. So, because this is the original juice made by D1, who is a D2 actually, who is a bartender at Touche in Chicago. So I got the recipe. I reproduced the recipe faithfully, and I tell the girls, don't drink the shit too fast. So you should take your clue from me. And the clue for me is, here go this glass. All the rest of the girls was like glug, glug, glug all the way to the top. I was like glug, water. Glug, water.
So at the end of the day, what you've had is one fucking glass.
Or maybe I've had 3 glasses when other bitches have had like 7.
So who gets caught? Not one of our little brothers, but both of them.
They was
so I am here to say, listen, I love you all, both of you, but I'm going to have a conversation with you about this drinking here.
Because y'all can a mess.
And you could listen. And I felt bad for both of them because actually both of them missed a whole night because they both got drunk on separate nights. But the first one, you just missed the whole first night. And the second one, poor thing, not only did you miss the night, but you went home, you was light pocketed, you didn't know where the hell your shit was.
Right.
And your husband was there. Listen, I am here for y'all, and I understand that hopefully you got everything back. But listen, this Onyx Punch is not to be fucked with.
Yeah.
So this is the disclaimer for both of you all. Do not drink next year. Thank you.
Right. Let me tell you, when I tell you the punch is not to be fucked with, it is not. Like people were like, God damn. Because it doesn't hit you at first because it's sweet and it doesn't feel like it's super strong. And so you just like glug, 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 glug. And then wander out in the hallway and Kiki or cut up and come back for some more of this punch. Let me tell you, this shit was like crack. People would come in the room and be like,
and then people have the nerve to say, "Where's no more punch?" No, bitch, there's no more punch. There's no more punch. There's no more punch. No more punch. There's no more punch.
No more punch. We on the first night we went through 10.
Are you gonna bring something else out? No, we're not bringing that. There's no more punch, bitch. No more punch.
On the first night, on Friday night, we went through 10 because that's a 5-gallon tub, and I'd made an extra 5-gallon bucket. So we went through 10 gallons of that punch on Friday alone.
No more punch.
Until next year, because we're bringing it back next year.
Yeah.
We'll always have it next year. There will always be more punch.
Then Saturday and then Sunday, that was it. We were going to, thank you all.
Right.
Thank you all. Thank you, but gotta go.
Bam.
You know.
So, so the suite was shenanigan-y. We had a fellowship dinner that was lovely. Everything went off. That's if we not listen. If I can't talk about what I want to talk about, you ain't gonna talk about what you want to talk about. So you're gonna leave that alone.
I am not. Yes, I am.
So I didn't get into as many.
I'll tell you about
Oh, there's a lot of tea. That's offline tea. That's like a 101 kind of tea. So for me, I had plenty of shenanigans with my sub and my slave, but there wasn't just like the level of high key shenanigans. But I was tired as shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I was tired. Oh, I was so fucking tired because I had on them brand new boots. So I was trying to. For those of you who don't wear boots a lot, y'all don't understand how tiring it is to be on your feet, walking up and down the stage for 5 hours.
Yeah. I was going to say it's essentially 5 hours.
And you're sweating out everything that you ever ate. Then I had the chain. I took the boots off for 15 minutes. You know, it was like, you see how you pump that seam on a can of biscuits? Then I shoved my feet back in the boots to go to leather cocktails, which is fine though, because that was free. Because that was free food and free liquor, so I was good with that. And,
leather cocktails was cute.
Speaking of which, bitch, you and that fucking corset that you had on, and that kilt.
Wait.
Was not to be fucked with. And you had a crown of your own. Because
did.
Epic had a black leather crown that he had on. Let me tell you how Epic came in there, and Epic was like, I was like, touched him. And it was like that bitch would have exploded all over the place.
007 snatched the shit out of that corset. He was like, hold on, girl. Just like we was in New York.
Yes.
Yes. Lean it back. So I came downstairs and somebody said something, and I was like, listen.
But you look good, and that's what mattered.
But the hour I had in that bitch, that was enough. I was like, gotta go. Yes. And it zipped down. I was like, the Nutty Professor, I was like, it was good, though.
Speaking of exploded biscuits.
Yeah, it was good. That's really what it was. But yeah, that was fun. So but leather cocktails was good. Renai's step down speech was excellent.
Yes.
The giving of the gifts was very classy, very was very cool, very
was
classy.
very
It was
him.
very him. And so I appreciated that. And then also they extended him the membership into
honorary.
Right, the honorary membership into the
Centaurs. Yes.
So good kudos to that. Mr. IML was there. Everybody looked great.
Yes.
The title holders were all up on stage. Everybody was great. It was phenomenal. But the new Mr. MAL is he's representing from the city of Pittsburgh. He's originally from Brazil, but he's in the city of Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And I cannot think of his name right now, but
Emerson and Anacieto, something like that.
So congratulations
to Emerson. Yes.
To Emerson, and they did a great job with the contest. It was great.
Guess who made a return appearance?
To the contest?
No.
Oh.
To the weekend. Sagittarius Cutie in the Towel. But he's a married woman now, so he wasn't down for the shenanigans. There's nothing to say because
I'm just saying
he's a married woman now, and he's a married woman with children now, so good for him. But he showed up, and everybody remembered him. It was like, yeah, you was a dude with the towel.
I mean, this is just my eyes going.
He make me watching. So
okay, all right.
Okay.
So anyway,
for me, I mean, I enjoyed the entire weekend, but one of the highlights for me was actually Thursday because I checked in on Thursday night, and everybody was like, "Oh, let's go to the Eagle." I was like, "Girl, I ain't going to the Eagle." Because I say that every year. I'm going to get up and go to the Eagle every year. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm sitting right here in the suite. So, there were 6 of us, just sitting around the table. We kiki and cut up for 4 hours. And then I was like, what? It's time to go to bed. So, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. We had a wonderful time. And that was that. But see, that's the kind of thing that I enjoy.
Yeah.
I enjoy all of the debauchery and all that foolishness. But I also enjoy the quiet, conversation and kiki, just with, a group of good friends.
And I didn't get to do that with Joey this year.
Yeah, Legionnaire.
And so there's a couple people I didn't get to do a lot of that with. So, but that's okay.
There was a lot going on.
It was a lot going on.
So, and now I'm sick.
Listen, I'm still fighting myself. A couple things I want to give a shout out to, and I've talked about this on Facebook. So I asked some brothers at the last minute, ahead of time to model in the gear show, and I asked a couple brothers at the last minute to model in the gear show. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna give a special shout out, Bliss, Onyx down in Southeast, but you better come through, show up, and show out.
Yes.
And I thank you for that. Elimination, Gray, Orion, I appreciate you all because you have done this several times before, and never without any complaints or any issues. You just come right in and do what you need to do. And Gray in particular, I'm sure you probably felt some type of way since you came right in. I snatched you up and was like, okay, put this on stand here and go. You were like, so thank you very much. To all of the Southern California brothers, Miggs and Pup Yoshi and Suavecito and Susha and all of you that modeled in the show, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Pup Beacon, thank you for being backstage and being in front of the stage and just being there for everybody as well. And also, Miss DC Eagle, Alyssa, such a sweetheart.
Yes.
I had the chance we were talking. She wanted to help out with the gear show. I was like, great, you can help out with these things. But once my mind started rolling and I got to the hotel and I started doing stuff, I forgot to hook up with her.
Yes.
Well, damn if she found me like 45 minutes later. She was like, I've been waiting for you. And I was like, I'm sorry.
My bad.
I forgot. Like, I was rolling. So, but thank you for being such a sweetheart and participating and being up on stage. Onyx Pearls came through. Leather Woman of Color. Velvet. Listen, I said it before and I'll say it again. The girls saved the show.
Yes.
So that's all I'm going to say. But thank you. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. The other people that came up, some first-time models like Lorenzo from Fahas, he got up on stage, did his thing. Brian Anomaly got up on stage as well.
Yes.
Who's going to have another show. Devo, Terry, all these people got up on stage. I appreciate all of you all. It was great. I thank you so much for coming out and getting up on stage. But then, look at there, Roman Onyx. So let me tell you about somebody that was standing behind the stage that was plotting on some of the gear and then had their fiance. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say all that, but I guess I should say it. But
it's done now. Oh, we forgot to mention that too.
Oh, yeah, they got engaged, but no.
So, like 2 months ago, Lynx is like, so, can I reserve the suite? Because, whenever the girls start talking about reserving the suite, I always start hearing wah. Because, they start having all kinds of conditions and, they're like, so can we reserve it from 2:45 to 3:16, just right in that time? And can you do this? And can we borrow this, and we don't want nobody else in there and all this other shit. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. But he was like, so I want to do this, proposal. And I was like, what? Part of me was like, bitch, why can't I get a man?
Right. Why am I always the motherfucking bridesmaid or the bitch
right,
around the outside the circle looking at this shit? Why the fuck can I be
But no, so it was a beautiful proposal and Roman, cried and everything like a little bitch, and it was cute. I mean, it was cute or whatever, so,
But congratulations.
No, congratulations. He did not cry he did cry, but it was not like a bitch, but it was wonderful. It was wonderful. It really was wonderful and sweet. And I am happy for both of them.
Yeah. Speaking of crying, let's go on and segue into Drag Race because Listen.
All right. So crying. I'm over Pheromone. Like when they brought her ass back, I was like, but why? You know what? So a couple of things, we gotta go all the way back. We gotta go all the way back.
Right.
So I can't remember what the last episode was, but since then, so Gia. Well, Farrah had already been eliminated, so it was Gia and Latrice. What I think the two eliminations that we had missed.
No, Jasmine was the first one.
Right, I'm saying, but that we hadn't already talked about.
Yes. Okay. Right. Okay.
So Gia, pot stirring, all this other stuff. Then I think she realized how shitty she was coming off. And listen, yes, there is a lot going on when you have come to understand and accept that you are a woman, and then you're doing drag, and you don't want to do anything that appears to be mocking or whatever. So she has that journey, but I also feel like it was part of this narrative that she was trying to craft because at first, you know, she was trying to set herself up to be the villain one and the crafty one, but she wasn't smart enough to be the crafty villain one. Then she wanted, you know, the sympathy for the transition that she's going through, which I'm not saying she doesn't deserve that sympathy, but it seemed a little bit disingenuous.
Let's come back to that because it was disingenuous or disingenuine, and I was like,
That's not a word. That is not a word.
I was like,
I will accept gooped.
Yeah.
Goop, because listen, the kids have been saying goop.
Yeah, and zhuzh, and conflama.
Right.
And I've even gone on record as accepting it, even though I will acknowledge that it's not a word. But compensate.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
Whatever. All right. Anyway. The twist this year, after them being these 4 people got put off, was to bring them back.
Right.
And they then got to lip sync against any of the contestants that were there currently, except for the 2 that were saved and who had
Manila and Monique.
Immunity, which was Manila and Monique. And thank God.
But see, here's the thing about that for me.
Monet.
That was
Manila and Monet.
Yeah.
Monet.
So I get them two confused, Monet and Monique. The thing about that for me is, well, yes, there is some production. So yes, they couldn't have just, Rook didn't literally just decide to do that double save, but I feel like they could have made it more interesting or did it better because, frankly, in that lip sync between Monet and Manila should have went home.
I agree.
Manila's lip sync was clearly, I mean, no, that's wrong. It wasn't. It would have been. It was clearly superior, which doesn't mean that Manila's was bad. But if you're going to say they both get to go, then they should have both been on par, and I don't think that they were. I think that if Manila had been lip syncing against Farrah or whoever,
fundamental rules for me for drag and for lip syncing: know your fucking words. If you do not know the words to that song,
watermelon.
Why are you even on that stage? Do not get on that stage if you do not know the words to that song. It is a fun. And the other fundamental thing for me is keep your goddamn wig on. So those are 2 things that just drive me crazy over the years that I've seen people perform and to drag. They just drive me up a wall. And that was happening last night.
Yes,
that happened last night with motherfucking Jasmine Masters. I was like, as soon as she didn't know the words, I was like, okay,
right. Well, so a lot of things that I have noticed. First of all, I love Latrice Royale. I saw Latrice perform in town.
Should have gone home last night.
She should have gone home.
Because that
was bullshit. That was walking around the stage, and even though she had on one split, you know, the first wig was cute, but that second pullback wig was terrible. And, you know, so she should have gone home, but that was their narrative. And then, first of all, we don't count, you know, season 1. And she's like, I'm the most beloved drag queen in the game. I was like, are you, though?
Girl,
I love you, so just don't be...
Yeah.
Because when I saw her in town, I was like, she is fucking this stage up. Yes. Now, I don't normally give out a lot of tips. I give you $1, so I get a bitch $20, which tells you I was loving what she was doing.
If your energy is right, but you will make all the tips in the world.
Right, but she was low energy. I just am not feeling it for her. I'm not feeling it for her looks. I'm not feeling it. Her looks essentially are all fat girl leotards in multicolors. So
I mean...
I get that she's a big girl. Don't get me wrong.
No. My point is, if you make that look, work, then you make that look work, and that's fine. And I will say, her lip sync is usually fucking amazing.
Yeah,
like her lip sync is amazing. She's one of the people that's absolutely amazing to me as far as lip sync.
Yeah.
People talked about. They talked about Montrese.
Coco
Montrese. Mm-hmm. One thing you could never clock Coco Montrese on was her lip sync. Nothing at all. You could talk about anything else. Mm-hmm. But that lip sync, you could never clock her for that.
Right.
So, and that was half the reason why she won that damn battle with Alyssa, because her lip sync was absolutely fucking on.
Yeah.
She sent her ass home. But
Naomi Smalls turned it.
Naomi Smalls. Listen.
Now, I didn't watch that season of Drag Race, so that's really my first. And you know, she hasn't had the lip sync at all. So this was my first time watching it. I was like, she is fucking this song up, and she gagged Gia because Gia
was thinking that she was going to be an easy target.
Thought she was going to be an easy mark, and
Naomi was like, "Come on, bitch."
She ate Gia for lunch.
Ate her up without no goddamn salt.
She did that split. That bitch was almost horizontal.
Listen, and the hair was back. Listen, these 47 inches of motherfucking Malaysia. hair was everything.
Yes.
And Gia's, like, Naomi's like sitting back like,
Right, and Gia's like, bopping all around the stage, and the camera wasn't even like, what, Gia's over there somewhere. Bullshit.
amazing.
So, yeah.
We even gonna give a shout out to Naomi's toes. Them tiger claws on the edge of them shoes like this too. But that's all right though. She slayed it. So bye bye Gia.
I think
Don't come back.
everyone is suffering from a case of the Sasha velours. They suffered from it on last season when your girl did that butterfly, titty reveal shit. Sasha is a performance artist who does drag. So she's used to having this story that goes through, but she's also a seasoned drag performer.
Yes.
These other girls may be great drag performers, but they're not cerebral artists. They keep trying to do that shit and it fails because they're not at that level.
That's true.
To be able to, not only do what was that Whitney song?
I Get So Emotional.
I Get So Emotional, but to have like a whole story and they had the cone hat and everything. So and people keep trying to reproduce that and they can't because
Listen, when it comes to drag, stay in your lane and do what the hell you do. They
Right.
keep giving Monet Exchange the business about wearing these bodysuits. That's her lane. That's her aesthetic. That's what she does.
right
She's not
and
trying-
just make a beard in a good bodysuit.
Like they talk about her in these kitten wigs. That's her lane. Let her stay in it. Like I don't even know if I really like Monet with long hair. I really like her with short hair. to
It's
be quite
her look,
honest.
and it looks
it's
fine.
it's her look. So I mean, when you know what your look is, then just keep it moving. Like listen, it's okay for performers to change their look, and people change their look. But
Right.
listen, your aesthetic is what works for you, and if it doesn't work for you, then and you've tried it, then great, go back to what works for you.
Yeah.
Or find something close to it.
Trinity's lip sync versus who did she?
Trinity went against the first one.
Jasmine.
Yes, Trinity went
Yeah.
against.
So that was.
Trinity, listen.
I don't really care for Trinity.
Trinity
And it's
is-
not because he's particularly like cunty or bitchy, but I'm just like,
This season is not really one of the best. When her season, she was good on her season.
okay.
So, but this one
That
is
was the
kind
same
of like,
season she was on with Naomi.
No, Naomi is from because Trinity was one of the finalists, I believe, if I remember correctly. But Naomi, I think, is the season before.
Okay.
The season before. So they were not in the same season. Naomi was in the season that what's her name won.
Violet.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. Yeah, that's season I definitely did not watch.
Yeah, that was Violet. I'm almost certain. But anyway, yeah. So, but she was better than another season. But anyway, I actually liked the way they brought them back, and you could see
They were truly gagged.
they were gagged because they weren't as good as they thought they were, and I actually was very happy with the way, like how they went home, the four of them. Latrice, I was kind of like, I still think Latrice should have went home, but okay, if she's
They
there for
needed
another
to
week,
have. They need for whatever reason they wanted to have their 5 or their.
that's
what is
fine.
it,
If she's there for
6
another week,
now?
that's fine. If she gets past the next week, I'll be amazed. Because it's now Latrice, Monet, Monique, Trinity,
And Naomi.
Naomi. Is that
That's
one?
5.
That's 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 5. Yeah, that's the 5 of them.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens next week. But all I do know is, she's probably going to have a top 4 again.
Yeah.
She's probably going to do a top 4 thing again.
So, I mean, I will be fine. I mean, I don't really care. I'm watching it, but, I don't.
I think Monet. I'm sorry, and Manila. We forgot about Manila. That makes
Oh,
6.
Manila, so that is 6.
Yeah, so I think that between
Manila
Monet,
is like this season's Ben de la Creme, but like low key, not like
because Bendela was everything. That was my girl. But anyway, I feel like Monet is
on the bubble.
Yeah, she's right on that bubble.
Yeah,
Right on that bubble. The rest of them I feel like can fight, but I think Monet's on the bubble. She might be.
yeah.
If it's not Latrice, it's gonna be Monet, and
Yeah.
if it's not Monet or Latrice, it might be possibly Trinity or Monique.
I feel like Trinity is supremely confident, and at some point that's really going to slip her up, and it's going to happen. The closer you get to the start, I mean, there are no saves. If she had fucked up in the first 4, she could have been brought back. But now you fuck up, now you're out.
Yeah, and I think she's getting to that point where she's getting ready to fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's getting ready to fuck up.
So
But
we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, I guess.
So,
And then they're about to do the reveal of the next season of season 11.
I don't know how I feel about the season 11 yet.
I haven't seen the picture, so it's not even happening until this week.
So that
That's
will
tomorrow.
start in February, or
Yes, it starts in February, but the reveal of the queens, I think, is tomorrow on
that'll be cute.
VH1's YouTube. What I've seen is that they've got more money because they're on VH1, so higher production values, but lazier writing and concepts.
the writing and concepts have been exactly the same since Logo. So,
But I'm just saying, the execution, that dating game shit, I was like, they could have kept all of that. They could have not even done that.
So-
and also, like, for these to be all-stars, I mean, they're throwing around the term all-stars rather loosely, because Farrah is not an all-star. I wouldn't even say that.
She's infamous because that bitch went home early.
And Jasmine Masters is not an all-star. I mean, she is an all-star in the community, but I'm talking about as far as the show is concerned, she's not an all-star.
And Jasmine Master.
Just stop it right there. All right, so 45 Chronicles, Nancy Pelosi versus the Dorito in chief. So
Listen.
our girl Nancy has told the president, under no circumstances will you bring your ass to my house
Can't come into my house.
as long as this government is shut down. Now, so, for those of you who don't understand, the way that it works is, yes, there is a provision that, there has to be a State of the Union, but for it to be a joint session of Congress, since the House is the larger house, the Speaker of the House is the one who opens the floor, and it has to be an open session.
Yes.
She said, I am not calling a joint session as long as the government is shut down.
Absolutely. And I don't blame her.
No, not at all.
Was it petty? Probably.
Definitely.
But I don't blame her. And his response was, well, since you actually sent me an invitation that was dated after the start of the shutdown, I'm going to continue to come through.
Okay,
and
you can
actually
try that.
have
But
the
I
State of the
sent you a
Union.
letter after that says don't show up. So yes, I could invite you to
Nancy
like
shut
I
it
had
down.
I had a New Year's Eve party to which I'm using a hypothetical, to which I invited you. Then sometime after I invited you, you did some fuck shit. And I uninvited you. And I didn't just let other people know. I told you in a letter. I sent you, not a 4-page letter, but I sent you a letter saying you are uninvited. So whatever I said before don't matter.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's where we
fuck
are
it.
with that. So, but Nancy, listen, I'm here. I'm here for it, Nancy. I'm here for all of this, Nancy. I'm here for
100%. You got my support because it's just,
I'm
this
here
is
for
just this is ridiculous. First of all, this wall don't even work. Because let me tell you why the wall don't work.
There are
Every time they
90,000
turn around, people keep talking
tunnels.
about tunnels underneath. They are drug tunnels where they put in like a subway system.
Yes.
Do you
They
understand?
have bathrooms. They have
Do you
bathrooms and air
understand
conditioning in the tunnels.
The level of infrastructure that you have to do, not just to dig a tunnel, because any bitch can dig a tunnel. I mean, hoes dig a tunnel out of jail all the time. But to have a tunnel that is big enough to then lay train tracks and then electricity to run a fucking subway, and a system that is complex enough to require restrooms.
That's the part right
along
there that
the
got
path.
me. Like it is the tourists. You're just gonna stop. We're just gonna take it. Listen, we're the tourists. Listen over here. This is
We're gonna take a 5-minute bathroom break. Is everyone okay?
Listen, I know
Drug mules, are you okay?
We're sneaking into the U.S. We have time. We can wait. We can listen. We're all right. We're good. We can sit here. We're good.
Right. I mean, unless you're going to build a wall that goes down 30 feet and goes up 30 feet and is 30 feet thick.
And listen, the freaking wall is wood planks, and you can see through them. Like it's not even. It's like a levered, like the mini blinds. If you flip them halfway, you can see that. That's how this wall is. It's wooden.
It's also 2,000 feet of, 2,000
nonsense.
feet. It's at least almost 3,000 miles of fence. So there's no way that you can have perfect coverage. And even if you had perfect coverage, meaning the ability to have cameras placed closely enough that there is no unmonitored spot, there's no way that you could have a fast enough response at every point on the border.
Right.
So, because listen, all you got to do is get a bunch of people hitting different points at the same time, because
And
there's
that's it.
only a limited number of people that can man the border at any time. All right, so we got 6 minutes. The shutdown, what this whole fucking thing is about.
Listen, right now we're in day 33, going into day 34, which is tomorrow. The Democrats are actually supposed to have another offer that is somewhere in the middle of, not necessarily in the middle, but they're giving another offer to the president to kind of look at to see if it would help to get the government up and running again. They are not giving any more money for the wall, but they are talking about a bill that would essentially open the Department of Homeland Security and have people coming back. But they want to also include like $5 billion worth of border protection, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Technology and law enforcement
Right.
agencies.
So technology and law enforcement agencies. Nancy Pelosi is going to unveil the proposal Thursday evening after the Senate takes up its measures to reopen the government. And both are partisan bills and are predicted to fall short of the necessary 60 votes that they need. So we'll see how this plays, because even if they go through and they submit this bill or submit these bills or these proposals to say this is what we want, or these are the bills that these are things that we will take to get everything open. If it fails and it doesn't pass, at least that will start some conversation, and that's the hope, that it will start conversation on both sides, so that people can actually start talking and say, okay, well, if we're not going to give you this, then this is what we will give you. So maybe we can meet somewhere in the middle. But if Dorito is still going to be,
That's President Dorito to you, sir.
I'm sorry, President Dorito in chief, if he's still going to be playing Humpty Dumpty, the spoiled brat version that sits on top of the wall, then we probably won't get anything done by the end of this week, and we will probably go into the month of February. This is the longest government shutdown that has been on record as of yet. The last one was, 12 days or 16 days?
Something like that.
16 days. And we are now in day 33 going into day 34. We are
Ridiculous.
coming up on the second pay period, or the second paycheck, that federal government workers are not
Now, let
receiving.
me tell you about that. So, because, one of my fraternity brothers is a section chief over at ICE. Now, he's been home and he hasn't been getting paid, all right. But let me tell you how they still expect TSA and the Coast Guard to show up for work.
Listen.
First of all, they acting like gas is free. So where the fuck you live, wherever the fuck you live, you got to get from there to your job
Yes, God.
every day with no money coming in.
Yes, God.
Shabbat. No.
And then they're also sanctioning those people who are calling out sick once they mandate them to go back to work. They're giving them hell about calling out sick. And I'm like, well, how? Like, really? Really? It's up to the discretion of the supervisor now to figure out if they are, scamming the system or trying to get over. Really? This sounds like basically like slavery.
It does.
I mean, it's
it
like,
does,
you
because
will
you
do
expect
this
people to
work
work, and then they're like, "Oh, well, you're gonna
for
get paid
free,
eventually."
not
Well,
gonna-
bitch, my landlord or my mortgage company doesn't accept
They don't
eventually.
understand eventually
It's
at
coming
all.
up on the 1st.
Yeah.
They don't. You can't call Bank of America, especially not Bank of America. You can't call up Bank of America and be like, "I will pay you eventually."
Listen, I am having real conversations with my roomie about where we are and what can go on and everything else. Real conversations. So listen, this is and on top of that, even though I'm not fed, and I don't necessarily work for the federal government. What I do is affected by this shutdown, because I do trainings for federal government employees. If there's no one to train, we're not making any money.
Also, and that's a downstream effect. Let me tell you a real downstream effect. So, one of our brothers, he's got soft spot for blue collar and service workers, and he was talking to some of the hotel workers, like the people that clean the rooms and stuff, and they're very nice, and she said he asked them, how do they feel, because listen. This is a male weekend. You can walk in, you might see a sling, you might see huge dildos, you might see all kinds of foolishness in the rooms. And they're like, we love it because you all are nice, you tip well, and also we need the money because that Monday MLK Day, 75 people got laid off from the Hyatt Regency on Capitol Hill because hotel rooms weren't keeping up. You know, that hotel, you walk right out. If you walk out the front door of the Hyatt Regency and turn to your right, you are spitting distance from the Capitol.
Yes.
Like you can literally see people walking on the steps of the Capitol. That is how close it is. So that is that hotel is in a prime location. If you are lobbying or coming to do business with with Congress or TDY from whatever, you stay there. So their hotel receipts are down, so they don't need as many people cleaning the rooms, tending bar, working in the restaurant, doing all kinds of stuff.
Right.
So there are a ton of downstream effects. You know, you think people, I get my hair cut every week. But if I ain't got a paycheck coming in, I'm not going to, and I don't have to go to work, the fuck I'm, being all trimmed up and cute for, I ain't even got a job.
Yeah.
People, restaurants, coffee shops, auto dealerships, all kinds of things.
Even the food trucks that actually sit in front of my building, because I work at LaFont Plaza, they're ghosts. Like they come when they can come. The buildings that are inside, the restaurants that are inside of our building are closing earlier because, again, the federal government workers that come through there that patronize them or that are patrons of those establishments, they're not making any money.
This is how a scandal. Someone on your screen popped up says scandal. This is how how a recession starts.
Absolutely.
This goes on long enough.
Absolutely.
And enough things start slowly collapsing because a lot of people are already living on.
But they say most people are two to 2.5 paychecks away from being out on the street.
Right. I mean, at one point I had like a year's worth of savings, but then my father died, and that wiped out my 6 months of savings.
Listen.
So, and I got a job at least.
Right.
I just can't. So, that it's just
it's a lot.
Frustrating because this man told you in the jump he don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck about the people that he work with. He don't really give a fuck about the economy. He don't give a fuck about paying his bills. And even as the president, he should feel responsible for making sure that the people who work for him, who are all of these 800,000 employees, get paid. He already told you he don't pay his people and don't give a fuck.
Right.
So, anyway.
But again, they're still getting paid. So that's the part that.
Right. I bet his executive chef is there. I wonder if that's why he served them hoes hamburgers and hot dogs
because they didn't have nobody to food. Or he tried to make the point to say that there was nobody there to do it. That's how sneaky I think he is.
Yeah, but that didn't work.
But whatever.
Anyway, so let's wrap us up.
The BGKH Show streams live on Wednesdays on VoxWave.com, 9:15 to 10:15 p.m. Eastern, 6:15 to 7:15 p.m. Pacific. Episodes are available on YouTube every Friday. You can search for Vox Power 373 and look for the BGKH Show with Dominion and Epic. Currently, we are able to host a live studio audience. So anybody that wants to come in, and nobody called tonight. Nobody called. What is going on? Anyway, you can always call into the studio, 240-719-2560 when we are on the air. So please do so.
You call other times, you'll be on somebody else's show.
Yeah, you're on somebody else's show. But if you want to get in contact with me, you can reach me on Twitter at EpicOnyx1. You can reach me also on Instagram at IamEpicOnyx. You can also find me on Facebook under Epic Onyx. And Dominion, how can people reach you?
At Dom Onyx on Twitter and Instagram, Dom Onyx on Facebook, and www.domonyx.com.
So, listen, we really, really, really want to thank you all for sticking with us.
We really do.
Hanging out and coming back with us after our hiatus. It was much needed, some much needed downtime and some much needed fun and playtime.
Yes.
And so we're ready to start 2019 off with a bang. And,
literally.
Yeah, literally. And
bang.
and so far we are doing that. Our producer is in the laptop, so I think we are pretty much ready to go. Ready to get out of this joint.
I'm ready to go.
Like I'm ready to go. So, but anyway, thank you all for coming back to us. Happy 2019, and yeah, I'm good.
Thank you all for coming out. God bless you and good night.
Mwah.